the show while we're sitting here and talking and having some fun
Exciting.
together. But definitely miss him because he would love to admit you didn't have a good time tonight. So we got Steve Rapillo here from JC Karate in Cheshire. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
I really appreciate you having me, dude.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
I got to meet Steve at the gym,
Yeah.
and it was like we were talking about some things, one thing led to the other, and we talked about karate for my daughter.
Yeah, you're interested about your 5-year-old daughter, right?
Yeah, 5-year-old daughter Drew, getting her involved in karate, start to kind of teach her a little about martial arts, and then you mentioned about this program you guys have, an after-school program, which really kind of developed into more conversations. So this is how we got together and how we began to get to know more about Steve today.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a whole list of questions over here.
I love it.
And looking forward to getting the people out there, not only all over Connecticut, but basically all over the world. We're in, I think, 48 different countries watching live.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool stuff. So a lot of viewers, a lot of local people, more important to you and the organization. But it's a great show to be a part of and have some fun watching. Typically, we do a lot of real estate, but we have a lot of local businesses here, and it's fun to get to know the local businesses for everybody out there. If you're moving into Cheshire or anywhere around, and you have a son or daughter, or maybe even yourself looking to get into martial arts, that's a great, great business, a great, great company, a great organization to be joining with the JC Karate program. They're really big on families and kids, and really teaching you a lot about everything with karate. But let's get into you. So. Tell us a little about yourself, and Steve. Where are you from?
Oh, so I'm from right in Cheshire, Connecticut, local.
Excellent.
So it's nice and easy. The studio's also in Cheshire, so it makes my commute nice.
What's the address of the studio?
The address is 131 South Main Street.
131 South Main Street in Cheshire.
Right next to the town hall, just south of it.
Very cool, convenient. So, did you go to school in Cheshire?
I did. So I went to elementary school over at St. Bridget's.
Wow.
And then I had the opportunity to go to Cheshire High for high
Excellent.
school. And I had a great time at both areas.
And did you ever go to college?
I did. I went to Champlain College up in Burlington, Vermont.
Wow.
Where I studied business administration and marketing.
Very cool stuff. That actually works really well for us in this whole karate program and the business itself.
Oh, without a doubt.
How long have you been training in karate?
Oh, man. This coming March, it's going to be 20 years.
Wow.
20 years. So I started when I was 3 years old.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right, so to my wife out there who thinks that I need to get involved too early for our daughter, he started at the age of 3.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what that means? You probably learn discipline really early in life and how to have the ability to listen to your older people around you and take good directions.
Oh, 100%.
Were your parents involved in karate at all?
They were not to start off with. My father didn't get involved until after I joined. We got him that as a Father's Day gift.
That's
actually.
awesome.
So it was a great time.
Very, very cool stuff. So, have they all? Have they all been at JC Karate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all at JC Karate. Even my time in college, the 4 years that I was up there, I was able to come home on weekends and train, and even and one of the good things for me about Zoom or COVID was all the Zoom teaching.
Wow.
So a lot of our classes were online.
No kidding.
I didn't have to travel 4.5 hours.
That's pretty amazing. So while you were in college, you could actually train your karate in your dorm room.
Exactly.
Or your apartment. That's pretty amazing.
I look pretty funny doing my sword form with a pen. So
Yeah.
that's all I gotta say.
I like it. How long has the studio been around?
Oh, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year.
Wow, 25 years.
25
that
years.
means that it has to be a very good business in order to be going 25 years strong.
Yeah, she opened up in 1999, right where the Rite Aid used to be, in the middle of Cheshire, when it had that little strip of shops.
Yeah.
She was right there, right next to Main Street Cafe.
Let's talk about she. So who is the owner of JC Karate?
Oh, Master Jennifer Couture.
We want to say thank you so much to Jennifer to allowing Steve to be here today. I know that he runs the studio over there with you and helps maintain everything. I know that it's very tough to pull you away. I know that sometimes it's very stressful, but I want to thank Jennifer very much. What an amazing woman you are, what you've been doing in this business world is with JC Karate, and not only educating young kids into adults as you are today, but the community as a whole and what it brings to the community of Cheshire and what it means to have karate a part of our lives over here.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fantastic. We unfortunately couldn't have Jennifer here today because she's probably back at the shop.
She had to hold
running
down
the
the
show.
fort.
Yeah.
She had to run everything.
Let's see. So, what is a little history on Jennifer? Can you share with me about
Yeah,
it?
so she just celebrated her 40th year doing martial arts.
Wow.
So she's been doing it since she was a kid, over Meriden actually. So she's also locally.
She didn't look
locally
old
born and
enough,
raised.
based on what I saw from a photo, that she's been doing it for 40 years.
You would never guess it.
That's-
She moves like there's no tomorrow too. All of a sudden you're standing there in front of her. Next thing I know, I'm looking up at her on the ground, and my arms all twisted, and I'm just being like, "Please stop, that hurts." It's awesome.
That's pretty amazing. You know, when you have a great master, right, it makes a difference because it's not only respect that you've earned and learned from her, it's something that is kind of generally follows through to the rest of the classes that people
100%.
are watching her. They learn to love and appreciate and respect the master there. When I was younger, I did karate. And I remember my sensei at the time, you know, being a little boy, you look up to this man or this sensei, or whoever it was, and there were several senseis there. I remember him. Well, anyway, my point is,
Yeah.
you were intimidated at first, but then
yeah.
you get to learn what an amazing person they are, that they're just like you and they're having fun with you, but there's a time for fun, and there's a time for respect,
And getting to work.
and getting to work. We used to have these little games we do to kind of warm up. I don't know if you guys do that kind of stuff, and then it would go into like right away into like, you know, forms. You know, we called it a kata.
Yeah, kata,
Right.
or a hyung. So we're Korean style, so we call it a hyung, rather than a kata, which is a Japanese.
I
style.
did Korean also.
Awesome.
Yeah, very cool stuff. And then we would go into like kicking and punching techniques. We talked before about what was it called with the stick?
Oh, the kendo sparring.
The kendo,
Yes.
yeah. And does she walk around and does she kind of make sure it was in nice form, and or is that your job?
We don't use the kendo swords anymore. We got pool noodles now.
Yeah.
'Cause it,
Pool noodle work.
it,
A little less
kids-
intimidating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The kids enjoy the pool noodle a lot more. Because then they're just like, oh, whack me harder with it. And I'm just like, all right, man. Like,
I love it. What is her specialty as a master?
I've actually been able to use her information firsthand, but her specialty really is bully prevention. I would say bully prevention
Wow.
and how to hold yourself so that you don't get bullied and you're not what we call a bully magnet. Because sometimes kids with low confidence, I know I had this issue for a little
Me
bit
too, as a
too,
kid, absolutely.
and sadly you're a target for the bullies.
That's
And it
absolutely true.
stinks.
Now, if you're out there watching and you have a child, or maybe you're an adult, and you're lacking even a little less self-confidence, and you would like to be more confident in life, karate is a great place to kind of not only build that confidence, but you're going to meet new people. You're going to
Yes.
surround yourself with people who are like-minded or looking for the same kind of desires, wants, and needs. And it's a great family environment. And I say family, not just husbands, wives, and kids, but it's a family in the sense of the peers you're working with in the classes.
Yes.
It's a great place for every age group to be involved in. And you mentioned bullying, and I will tell you as a parent, you know, the biggest fear you have in life is your kid ever feeling bullied or not confident to stand up for themselves. And one of the best ways to build confidence is through martial arts. And it's not just to be somebody who's going to be a fighter, because that comes with it in learning that process if they want to be, especially, but more importantly, how to defend themselves. Karate is more of a defense than
It
an
really
attack,
is.
right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
how to protect yourself, and then how to counteract if you have to.
Exactly.
I love karate. I love whatever someone can get from it. Each person's going to find what their thing is, but there's so much to offer.
There's so much to offer.
That's awesome stuff. We just talked about this. What style of martial arts is it, and does it have an extensive history?
So the style that I do is called World Tung Sudo. World Tung Sudo.
Okay.
Yep. So we're a global organization. We're on 6 different continents, which is
Wow.
pretty cool. I think it's 120 different countries,
Wow.
and it's awesome. So it's a global thing. So when we have our world championships, you get to meet people from Spain, Costa Rica, Brazil, Canada, Germany, UK. So it's a really cool thing. So all of a sudden, you feel like this world is so huge, but now you're seeing these thousands, 10,000 people that all have the same interests as you. So
All
you get to
connected
see
together. You're
all connected as
It's
well.
almost like a larger family. Your bond that you
Oh,
actually
yeah.
build with other people. You're meeting all these other places.
100%.
How often do they have tournament?
Okay, so we as Region 9, my region is Region 9. That's the
Okay.
Northeast, so it contains Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
Wow.
So that's our region. And we actually, now that you say the family, we call ourselves Family 9, not just Region 9, but Family 9.
I
because
believe it.
We're all here for each other, especially being in New England. We're all very close.
Yes.
So there's a studio in Meriden called Valentine Karate.
Okay.
They're also part of our organization.
That's
and
so cool.
We're able to work very close with them. So it's really cool that the bond doesn't just stay in the studio, but it stays in the organization.
And when you go to a tournament, there's a lot of respect and love for each other. As much as you're gonna compete against somebody else, there's the competition part where you have like you want to beat them, whether it's beat them in the forms, the kata, what do you call it?
We call them hyungs.
Hyungs. Whether it's in the hyung or it's in the weaponry, if you will, or if it's in sparring, because you're competing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
with that competition comes the respect afterwards for each other.
Yes.
And the love for love and appreciation for the karate, and that's a pretty intense feeling to have in your heart and your mind, and be a part of, like you said, something bigger.
Yep.
And it really develops into a huge person. You become more of who you are through karate. Is that fair to say that?
100%. It helps you gain not just your confidence, but the humility with your confidence. Because it's not just all about going out and showing, oh, I can punch the hardest, I have the best form. It's how you hold yourself after maybe you just did do the best form anybody's ever seen. But are you celebrating with your family and being like, I'm the best right now, everybody else isn't that great? Or are you sitting there patiently waiting and watching your next opponent
Right.
compete and then cheer them on as they did? Because they just tried their hardest too, just like you just tried your hardest.
Absolutely.
So you have to appreciate and respect the effort that they're putting in, not just what you're putting in.
It's pretty cool stuff. A lot of philosophy in this whole
Oh yes.
yeah.
Our organization is big on the whole body purpose. So that you're not just trying to get physically strong, but mentally too. Because
Mental
life
is
is
half
hard.
half the fight in everything. Whether you're in karate, MMA, boxing,
Mhm.
it's the mental game and how you posture yourself up that your opponent becomes and feels off their game, if you will. That's pretty good stuff, man. I like that a lot. Very, very cool. Let's see. What drives you to continue training?
The whole person concept of it is there's the biggest room. I learned this from Master Valentine over in Meriden. I think probably 10 plus years ago. But the biggest room that you'll ever encounter is room for improvement. So you're never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that you can strive to be better for. And
Just say that one more time. The biggest room you ever.
the biggest room you'll ever encounter is room for improvement.
Now, if you just heard that, I'm going to start using that in everything in my life because that's pretty amazing stuff. The biggest room there is for you is room for improvement in your life. I mean, in everything you are in your life, no matter what it is, there always is room for improvement, and you have to, as an individual, accept that and be willing to accept it in order to grow.
100%. It takes a lot to be able to accept that.
Whenever I tell people who are realtors on our team or outside, as soon as you think you are the best at what you do, you only have one place to go, and that's down. Right? The more you learn from other people, and sometimes you're not wanting to learn because mentally it's hard, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or physically it's hard. But the room for improvement is what makes you a better at everything you do, whether it's sales, medical professional, any kind of service person at all. You always have to look to learn for improvement and from people who are better than you are.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's the only way to be better.
I love it.
And to excel in life and your profession.
Steve, this is good stuff, my friend. This guy is not only a great person, but wisdom. The wisdom that's coming through here, but it's learned wisdom. It's wisdom that you've picked up in the last 20 years
Yes.
in being in martial arts and studying the room and the people you work with and work for, and even the young people that probably come into your life during the day. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow you go, wow, that was pretty amazing and pretty impressive, or shocked you by what they said or what they did.
Every day I learn every day from these kids because that life is all about learning, lifelong learner. So
Very
never
cool.
want to stop.
Very cool stuff. I love the questions I have in front of me over here. So how would you describe, when we talked about the culture at JC Karate,
Mhm.
very family, which is exactly how I believe our real estate team is very family.
I love that.
I mean, listen, it's family, but it's also business, right? Like, there's a family aspect after that you can be there for each other. And sometimes it's not always family, it's a lot more business and a lot more activity going on. But there's moments in the big picture that it being family. And that's in everything in life, in business and in your work lives, hopefully the same way. And how often are you there teaching classes yourself?
So I'm there all 5 days every week. We have classes 5 days. So we have classes and we're open for 6 days a week. I don't teach on Saturdays. That's Master Chair's day.
You get a
She's
day
awesome
off.
on it. I get the day off.
Which is nice.
But I am there and I'm assisting and teaching every day during the week. So it's fun.
Master Couture
Yep.
has to be somebody to get the show at some point.
Oh, you'd have fun talking
the way
to
you
her.
speak about her presence must be powerful. Just like, in the sense of the emotional side and the physical side and what she's taught you. Because like, just in speaking with you here today, she's got to be proud when she sees this show.
I hope
if she's
so.
not watching now, I would say if it was my dojo, I would be super proud, man.
Well, thank you. I
Very
appreciate
proud.
that.
Absolutely. What is the most influential thing that you have learned through martial arts?
Ooh, the most influential thing. Persevere. Life is going to get rough. It's going to get hard. But if you keep going, you keep working, you persevere through the hard time, there's going to be some relief. Life is going to get good, and even if it's just one person saying, hey, I noticed you working really hard. I'm proud of you. But just working hard and not giving up just because I'm not being noticed, nobody's saying anything to me, and
Even though
going
sometimes you
through.
don't feel it being appreciated, you're actually being more appreciated than you think. Just because someone hasn't said something to you, right?
Yes.
We call that in this business the roller coaster of life. In
Mm-hmm.
our business, there is such a roller coaster of the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the people that come into your life that are very thankful and appreciative and love you and have the greatest thing to say about you. And then there's people who don't show those
Do
feelings,
not have that
those
same feeling.
feelings, and they might be a little bit more stern with you in your life, whether it's your work, people you work with directly, or it's your clients, or it's your family. They're a little bit different. Like sometimes your spouse, while you love them to pieces, you don't always say the same things you say to other people, not because you don't feel or think it, it just isn't the way you portray it. But at the end of the day, you always make sure you remind people how much you care and love them and everything else. I'm sorry, I'm going sideways.
Oh, no, because you just have to remember that just because they're criticizing you or they're telling you that you're doing something wrong, it's because maybe they're pushing you. That's their way of trying to make you better and get to that room of improvement. So
How do-
that constructive criticism, too.
Do you find with young people, and I want to say, what's the youngest ages you are teaching?
3.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a 3-year-old is going to be much different how you approach them, obviously. And how is it like different classes, different age groups?
Yeah, so we have our Tiny Tiger class, which is 3 to 6 years old, and that's
Cool.
on Tuesdays and Thursdays at
That's gotta be
5:30.
the cutest thing in the world to watch. Oh my
It's
gosh.
it's adorable. Just watching them just key up and punch and kick and roll,
Love it.
and because they're just having so much fun. It's so pure and wholehearted.
Absolutely. And then so after 6-year-old, it goes to what's the next
And
class?
then we have the 7 to 11-year-olds.
Ah, they get a little more serious.
You got to be a little more stern with them because this is where
They get wild and crazy.
They get
That
wild and crazy.
Flag
You
goes
gotta-
by and all of a sudden they change their.
all of a sudden they're on the fly on the wall, and you got to bring them back to it.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And then so it's 7 to 11, and
Yep.
then what's
And
the
then we
next
have
group?
our 12. We have our 12 and above class. So that's like all the way from 12 years old to the oldest is 60.
Wow, that's pretty amazing stuff.
It's really cool.
I love it. I think it's, for me, I was involved in karate from the age of, I'm gonna say 7, and to the age of 13, because my parents had moved to a new town. And I remember being a very shy, very not confident, person, where I began to feel comfortable in my own skin and confident and being not worried about not only what other people thought, but walking different, posturing up.
Yes.
And I bet you get to see this kind of transformation with these kids.
It's pretty cool to watch
Right.
it.
If they start at the age of 3, 4, 5 years old, and now they're in the 7 to 11 class, that's going to be a big difference in how they posture up. And then you have somebody who starts new, who's never been in karate before, who comes in, let's say 7, 8 years old, and they still got that little kind of internal shyness to themselves. And by the time they get to that, next year or two, their whole posture changes, right?
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, you're spot on with that one.
I-
It's really cool to watch these 7-year-olds become like 12-year-olds, 16-year-olds. We have this one family that's been there. They have 4 kids with us right now, and so the 2 oldest kids, they started when they were tiny tigers, and so now I think the oldest is 16 and the youngest is, I want to say, 7 or 8.
Wow.
So it's like a huge difference, and I got to watch that 16-year-old come as like a tiny tiger, and it's weird because I don't see myself as like the adult. Like,
Of course not.
I'm still 23. I didn't.
Right.
When all of a sudden the 16-year-old comes up and he goes, "Hey, do you remember me as a tiny tiger?" And then I have to be like, "Oh man, now I feel old."
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right, absolutely. But you watch them grow.
Yeah.
And you see the changes they made. Not to mention, I'm sure that the parents, how they are at home, has made a big difference. You know, the respect, the values, their skills in life that they're
Oh, yeah.
learning and dealing with when it comes to their school, as well as their home life, right? And there's a lot more
100%.
respect involved in the home, I bet you that. And we're going to get into that more about that too, because some of the things I want to talk to you about is next is specifically about this Cheshire Best Kids program, which is perfect, like leading
Yeah.
up into this. So this program called the Cheshire Best Kids program is this program that I got more excited about than ever before, because kids come from the school and they go to I'll call it after-school program, where you have people to help make sure the kids are having fun and learning. So tell us a little more about this Cheshire Best Kids after-school program.
Yeah, so we started up this after-school program where we go out to the schools of Cheshire. So we have Norton, Highland, Doolittle, and Chapman. We have 2 different vans. If you ever see a colored van with Cheshire's Best Kids on the side of it in Cheshire, it's blue and white. It's probably me driving. Give me a honk, give me a wave.
Nice.
And yeah, it's awesome. We pick up the kids right at the school, right at drop off, or I think it's 2:45 or 2:30ish for Chapman and Norton, and then like 3:15 for the other schools, which is really nice. We're able to get all 4 of them, bring them back to the karate studio, and we have a karate focused after school program. So
That's-
they learn how to kick, they learn how to punch, break boards, self-defense,
Wow.
and really just try to create a more confident generation.
I love that. And by the way, if there's anybody out there has any questions while we're on the show here, anybody has any statements they want to make, a shout out to Steve or myself or any kind of thing at all between Instagram and Facebook or on TikTok, which is watching us live over here too. As I mentioned TikTok before. Anybody out there?
Eric asked, what belt did you reach?
Oh, Eric Vasquez, my partner in crime will be
Yeah, I'm currently a 3rd degree black belt.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And when did you make?
Did you reach?
Oh, did I reach?
Did you reach?
I actually, so what happened was, and I'm happy you asked that question, Eric. It's very nice of you. I actually made black belt. I had just made black belt. I had my diploma.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool thing
Yeah.
because what happened was I didn't know I was moving. It was the summer of 7th grade, where 6th grade ended, and I was going to 7th grade, and I was 3rd degree brown belt. We had the black tape
Yep.
and the thing, and then it went from 3rd degree brown belt to black belt. And I never got the belt itself, and we ended up moving that summer. I think my test was in July. I passed, got my diploma, and then we ended up moving to Woodbridge at the time as kids. And for me, it was a tremendous. It was again. I went through the whole beginning again,
Yeah.
going to a new school system and being shy again, and the whole thing. And it was tough because I wanted to find a new dojo to go and get involved in. And the problem for me at the time was I worked so hard from being, I think it was 7 years old to like 12, or maybe it was even 6 years old. Maybe 6 years old. And then I had to start a new studio and start from the beginning again because no dojo wanted to give you where you were. And then as a kid, I was like, I don't want to do anymore. And
Yeah.
I always wish I did go back into karate. Good question, Eric.
Valerie said hi.
Hi, my beautiful wife, my queen. That's Valerie. And hopefully
Hello,
our
Valerie.
daughter Drew is watching the show too.
Awesome.
Anybody on Instagram have any questions at all?
Good.
Okay. We have a lot of people watching. Sometimes they're watching the replay.
Yeah.
This will go viral and it'll be a lot of fun.
Sounds fun to
all
me.
right, getting back into it over here. What schools do you currently service, which you just mentioned before? And why are you different from other after-school programs?
I think our biggest thing is that we keep the kids active. We don't just have them show up, sit down, and now they're sitting at a table drawing for the next 2 hours or
Right.
hour and a half, however long it takes the parent to come pick them up. We have a structured schedule which really, again, it focuses on martial arts, but also your physical health as well. So like making your footwork quicker, making your hands quicker, improving your hand-eye coordination, because all these things are super important and essential to be a good martial artist.
Not to mention, most athletes in the world today have somehow, some way been involved in martial arts. Football players, soccer players, swimmers, people get in martial arts or gymnastics, all these things that help them to become better skilled at what they want to do. And martial arts is all about cause and effect, reactions, how to pay attention to things that are happening that haven't happened yet, how to read people, a little bit of psychology involved with martial arts as well. Now in this after-school program, is it just karate focused, or are there other activities kids are doing?
No, so that's the fun part. So because I've been doing it my entire life and I grew up doing it, my dad and along with other instructors at the studio were able to figure out how to take our karate and put it into sports. So that when we do our round kicks, we try to demonstrate it like you're swinging a baseball bat, except you're swinging it with your leg instead of with your whole body.
Right.
And we just try to take the sports that these kids love, like soccer, basketball, rugby, football, all of it, and we try to make sure that we can show them the implication from their sport into martial arts, or even vice versa, which is the coolest thing, especially with the high schoolers.
You
I think
just
that's
mentioned
really awesome.
rugby, you just threw it back. So rugby, going back to rugby for a second. So that's where I actually first met you, which is a while
Yes.
back. My memory's not so good until it's triggered. And my son Daniel and you played rugby together.
Played a couple of years. It was
Yeah,
fun.
that's very cool stuff. You mentioned rugby, so I just
Oh, yeah, of
threw it back
course.
at that.
Gotta
But
bring
you're
it
right,
back.
sports definitely, every sport, the foundation is about a child or an adult learning how to listen, learning how to absorb information, and then how to develop from that information to do the process.
Mm-hmm.
And if people start at a young age, kids, etc., their abilities to learn the next thing in their life, whether it can be some kind of sport, they'll be much better at it.
Oh, yeah.
Even in the sense of going to karate for parenting reasons, because your kids will learn respect for their parents. They know how to listen better because they have to. And you find out most kids, they listen to other people better than they listen to their own parents sometimes, right? Because it's a whole different atmosphere. Like it's like when they're out, they're the best to be hip kids. And they come home, they're crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but what happens most importantly is that they have the ability to have those skills to listen, learn, pay attention, and have fun at the same time. Why karate's so great. Question.
Yeah, William Trailer said, "Hi Dave."
Who was that?
William Trailer.
Oh, William Treelor, yes.
Treelor.
Yes, that's Billy's dad. Big Billy.
And Eric said, "What are the benefits for an older person to start martial arts?"
That's a great question.
That's an awesome one. So my dad started at 42.
Wow.
And we have a lot of we got a good handful of adults that are in their 30s, and we got another good handful in their 40s as well. So it's a nice little spread. Well, and then you got my dad. He's 60, but
That's fantastic.
It's
Your
really
dad's
cool.
60 years old. So how long has your dad been doing since he's 40 something? Or
42. So
So
he's been doing
40
it for about 18 years now.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I actually get to teach with him on Wednesday nights,
That is
so it's a lot of fun.
what an amazing culture. Like the fact that
It really
where
is.
else could you ever had that to you and your dad to be able to
Oh,
do martial arts
I
together?
don't think anywhere else.
And later on be able to teach together. I mean, that's a bond experience right there that you'll never ever forget and have for the rest of your lives.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty
100%.
amazing. And your
it's an
kids
awesome
one day, when you
opportunity.
get married and have kids, that'll be something you get to share with them as well. And that's just awesome. Master Couture. Great stuff. I love it. Can't wait to meet her.
Oh, you're gonna have a good time meeting her. She's
Yeah,
funny.
I bet she's an amazing person. What we need to do is come to the studio, maybe get a little film. Actually, by any chance, do you have anything you can show the folks at home from JC Karate?
I do.
Now, this is something that only on Facebook, unfortunately, that Instagram won't be able to see, or TikTok, and I apologize for the inconvenience for that. But what we're going to do is later on, when you have the show taped, he'll hit the replay button. We'll post that onto the Instagram page, TikTok, etc. So you can make sure you watch the full episode with anything that Dane's putting in the background. Dane, are they watching this right now?
Now.
And when they're watching, can they hear our voice at the same time? That's awesome. Can you tell us what they're watching right now? Is it able to?
Right now they're looking at pictures of the kids.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I'll get to the videos.
Sorry, I know I sent over some photos of the after school program,
Yep.
which is awesome. You get to see the kids having a good time there.
That's awesome.
I know there are a couple of breaking videos, which is cool with all the Christmas lights up and the
Yeah.
holidays.
Are you breaking anything over there on the video also? I actually went to Facebook, I think it was on your page or something, and I saw you jumping over and cutting a watermelon in half.
I'm actually jumping over my dad in that video.
Is that your dad? Is that
That's my
right?
dad in the video.
Do you have that on video by chance?
That video, it came through in really bad quality, but I could play it. I don't know why. I think it's from when I sent it to my computer and messed up. It's just not
No.
good.
Well, don't put it if it's not good, because it won't give the actual content that it is. Are you still playing videos, or you're all done with it?
I could be all done.
Are you all done?
That's
All
one of
right.
my favorite breaks to do, the watermelon one over people. I've been doing that since I was
A
17.
watermelon is a hard piece of fruit to begin with. I'm not sure if it's considered a vegetable or a fruit with seeds in it. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's one of those but I mean, see, you hit a watermelon, you split it, and you cut it. How often did you hurt your hand doing that kind of thing?
The watermelon, I haven't hurt.
No.
I haven't hurt my hand doing the watermelon, but the cinder blocks and the bricks, those hurt.
You're breaking cinder blocks and bricks as well.
I've done it before.
That's pretty amazing stuff.
It hurt.
Well, you know what though? You've learned to get to that process through Master Couture.
Yeah.
I'm sure that she's probably got some strength over there in that how you do it, what you're doing, what's going on in this. I'll have to watch the videos on Master Couture as well. And what's her first name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, Master Jennifer Couture. All right, so let's go into the next part over here. Some more questions for you. Well, we know what makes Cheshire Kids best, makes Cheshire Kids best, the best program, in my opinion, just not even being there. It's the kids' experience and the teaching that it has and the environment that is surrounding it. And you know what's also great about the program is you're probably meeting kids that might be in their school they never met before until they get older and through sports. And now they have these relationships with kids that they didn't have before, a new family to be a part of.
That's one of my favorite things, especially coming from St. Bridget's. So my only way to meet people that
St.
were at
Bridget's
St.
great
Bridget,
school.
fantastic school.
Yes.
And my biggest way was through sports.
Yes.
And so I know with the kids in town, they had no idea who people were from the other schools.
Right.
So I thought it was kind of funny when I'd go to the practices. It made me feel fit. It made me feel like I fit in a lot better because kids didn't know who they were. So that was really
Absolutely.
cool. And now I'm able to be a part of that and create a community and environment where these kids are able to meet kids so that the kids from Chapman can meet the kids from Norton, because half the time they don't get to, because I know
Not
Chapman and
together.
Highland do some things together.
Right,
and
not to
Norton
the
do
middle
those.
school, right? And they come
Yep.
together, these 4 different schools come together, these
All
kids.
together.
That's always been in my mind kind of crazy. You get these, how is it you have 4 elementary schools and 1 middle school? Like, what a complete, boom, that's
Just
got it.
put them all together.
Yeah, like, that's just, I mean, it's great on one hand, but
Oh,
it's got
yeah.
you starting that whole process.
It's
of
got
knowing
to be
people
stressful.
again. But if you're in martial arts,
It takes a little bit of the stress away.
yeah, it takes a little bit more, gives you a little more people skills as well.
Oh yeah, I know when I transitioned to the high school, it helped me out because all of a sudden I knew these juniors and seniors and sophomores. So my first day when I was sitting alone at lunch, because I didn't really know anybody.
Right.
And they sat down next to me and gave me the confidence to go out and do sports in high school, the musicals,
That's amazing.
and just make sure I was able to express
in.
myself and
Fit in and express yourself and be a part of a bigger group of people, even though you didn't know anybody walking in.
Oh yeah, our catchphrase at JC is changing lives.
Changing lives.
That's
I
our
love
goal.
that. That's really good stuff. Changing lives. Do the kids only do karate, or are there other activities? I asked that question before, and we said yes. There's other activities over
Oh
there.
yeah, we try to get through everything.
The attention
What I do
span
a
of
lot.
kids is gonna be
Exactly.
tough. It's depending on the age group. If they're coming from kindergarten and they're age 5, their attention span is
They
gonna be.
don't wanna sit there and
well,
listen,
First of all,
yeah.
girls' attention span is much different than boys are. Girls, you can give them and they're kind of focused. If they like it, they're into it. Boys, I think it's like maybe 30 seconds. They're like, shh, shh, shh,
And they're gone.
and they're gone, right? You have to have multiple activities that are happening. Maybe relay race or some kind of I don't have no idea what you do with the kids. I have no. It's got to be tough though.
It's hard to get them to calm down, so sometimes you just gotta you gotta wing it sometimes.
Right.
So if they're really being crazy and they got a lot of energy, all of a sudden you're doing relay races on the mats just to calm them
That's
down a little
awesome.
bit so that they
I
can
just
actually
threw it out
talk
there. I
to
have no
them.
idea.
Oh no, It's
You gotta tire them
great
out, tire them out a little bit.
Oh yeah, tug of war's a good one too. That they love tug of war.
So when they're getting all crazy, you give them something physical to do that is gonna make them a little bit more,
Just come back to earth a little
Yeah,
bit. Just take a breath, calm down. They can't be screaming if they're out of breath. So
right, that's true, and they're more willing to listen.
they're
Absolutely.
way more willing to listen.
Good psychology, by the way.
Because what all they want to do after school is just run around. They're
Right.
just forced to sit and listen to a teacher for the last 6 hours.
That's true.
Last
That's a
thing
very
they
good
want to
point.
do is come in here and
Right.
listen to me.
That's a very good point. What is your goal as the director? What is your goal as the director for kids who walk through the door at JC Karate?
I want them to leave there more confident and with the belief that who they are is enough. Because
Love
it most important thing, especially nowadays, I feel like kids at a younger age, you see the signs of anxiety and depression a lot faster. And if they get to if they're in an environment in a community where they feel safe, welcomed, and loved, they're gonna become a leader.
You
They're
know
gonna have
what?
courage.
It's interesting you say that. And I'm going to tell you that, kids today, a lot of times they're down about things. And right away people go and bring them to doctors and start medicating kids.
Yeah.
I believe that certain kids might need to be medicated, but maybe before going to medication, maybe going and getting them involved in martial arts. Maybe this is the first time you're seeing this. You're wondering about your son or your daughter and what's going on with them, and they're feeling kind of introverted, not extrovert, not confident. Maybe get them to JC Karate. Give them a chance to develop, build their skills with not only meeting new kids, but having an environment that is going to make them feel loved, appreciated, and it's outside the home. Because sometimes
Yes.
kids in the home are different, as we know, than they are outside. And if they're surrounded by other people that give them that love and support they need, maybe they just change and become a more developed individual mind and body, and helps them make a new path in their future for themselves.
Oh yeah, that's
Pretty cool
that's our
stuff,
goal.
man. I love it.
Trying to make the future leaders.
I love it. I love it. How can people get more information about signing up and seeing the studio
So
at JC Karate?
you can always stop in. Our doors open up at 5:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 6 o'clock on Wednesdays and Mondays.
Thane, can we put that into the title, please, over there, if you don't mind? So the hours of operation
Usually 6 to 7:30 or 8 o'clock
at night.
at night. Well, and that's for the night classes.
Okay. What about? Are there any day classes happening? At all?
There's no day classes right now because I got to get ready for the after school program.
Right. How on the after school program? When does that run? From what time? to
So
what
we
time?
have 2:45 until 5:45.
So 2:45 to 5:45 is the after-school program. Now, if parents want to pick their kids up earlier, is that possible? Is that like restrictive?
Always
or-
allowed.
Okay, so they can stay from 2:45 to 5:45, which is great as a parent, because if you're working, typically you should. Now, what if parents are running late?
Well, we just asked you to call us and let us
The
know.
kids have to start doing push-ups because
No, well, only if they want to. Some kids really like to do push-ups though. So
It's
they're like,
competition.
Mr. Steven, can I do more push-ups? I'm like, all right, man. I'm not gonna say no.
right, of course, push-up competitions.
Oh, I love doing those.
That's
I love
fantastic.
doing those.
When I was a kid, I was big in the karate when they had competitions, whether it was the relay races to win, right? Or it was the push-up competition. And it's amazing when you're a kid that you're giving a competition that's actually physically great for your body. It was a sit-up competition and a push-up competition that I remember. And then there was also the kicking competition and punching competition
Yeah.
because of the skills and how you were doing things, how many you could do in a minute, blah, blah, blah. It's really good stuff, man.
It's really fun. So still with the after-school program, if you want a lot of information or maybe sign up for a free week,
Ooh,
free
week.
trial, because as we said, like we got to make sure that we stay the best and that and that your kid feels comfortable here and that we feel comfortable with your kid as well.
So
It's a two-way street. That's how respect
to
works.
sign up for the Best Kids After School program, to check it out, what's the best way for them to do it?
You can either go to our Facebook page, which is Cheshire's Best Kids After School Program at Summer Camp, or you can go right to our website.
Could you just, because Thane will have to get that out there, and I'm not sure if he typed that fast.
Well, I'd recommend going to our website, which is Cheshire'sBestKids.org.
Perfect. Cheshire's, CHESHIRES, best, BEST,
And then
kids.
KIDS.org.
.org. That's great stuff. Thane, you get that up there, buddy? We'll make sure that we have that in the replay. That's going to be all the time showing, so people can see that as well. We'll get it up on the show as well,
Awesome.
for people to find it. Is there anything else you want people to know about JC Karate or Cheshire's Best Kids that we haven't covered already? Because we've covered a lot. But
We covered a lot.
Anything that you want to finish or just kind of,
Best thing is, I just got to give a shout out to the people at the studio that teach the classes with me, and so we got Miss Lisa, Mr. Bayers, my dad, Mr. Rapillo, we got Master Couture, then we have the coaches in the after school program, Coach Melissa, Coach Mackenzie, and Coach Amon. So they're awesome people, and I would not be able to have this program or be able to be here without them.
that's amazing. Great shout out for those very special people who helped make up what JC Karate is today. And a big shout out to the master.
Big shout out to Master Couture, without a doubt. Thank you for this.
Thank you for having Steve here today, allowing him to share what you've been doing for the last, how many years?
20 years
25
now.
years? Is it-
Oh yeah, she's been there for 25 years now.
That's unbelievable. 25-year
crazy.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Master Couture, for that whole experience, everybody to have and enjoy in a life. And look at you, 20 years in martial arts.
I give her a lot of credit for being able to stick with me for 20 years. That definitely was not the easiest
She
kid in
might
the
have
world.
questioned it
so-
at first, but she developed, boom, into what you are today. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
All right, we are at the end of our show, as you all know, and we're giving a free tumbler to a lucky winner. Please, if you would like to get a tumbler, we'd love to get one to you. You got to let us know in the words over there underneath this was happening at the show. Say I want to get entered into the tumbler for a tumbler. Get your full name over there for us, your email address, so we can make sure we can contact you. Thane, let's make sure we can get a lucky winner today and spin that wheel, buddy. He's going to spin the wheel. They're going to watch.
Awesome.
And then we're going to let you know who won.
That's sick. That's so cool. I didn't
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Feed Mike off TikTok. You are the lucky winner of a tumbler. Please make sure to reach out to us, Feed Mike, so we can get your contact. Please reach out to us. You can call me, you can email me, or text me. Better with calling or texting. My cell number, everybody, as you all know, 203-671-7062. Call me, text me, get me information, and we'll also get you on the wheel to win a free tumbler every week. Thank you so much for being part
They're
of the
great
show.
tumblers, by the way. So
Thank you. And
I like
thank
them.
you so much for being on the show
Thank you
today.
for having
buddy.
me.
Great job
Awesome.
today. Again, thank you, JC Karate. Thank you, Master Couture. Thank you, everybody, for joining us every week. We had an amazing time with you, and we will see you next week with another amazing show. And hopefully, Eric will be sitting by my side.
I can't wait.
Okay. Have a great night, guys.